Hi, everyone. Oh, can we just keep the music going? Apparently we can't. Um, what we learn in school can shape the entire course of our lives. I'm not talking about which college we choose to go to or which profession we pursue. I'm talking about how what we learn in school shapes the kind of people we become. Think about your own experiences as a child. Were you warmly welcomed and supported? Were you encouraged to find your voice, to be of service, to think expansively about your future? Or did you get angry and get into fights? And were you given a second chance when you made a mistake, when you had a hard day or a week or a year? Were you bullied? How long did that last? And what happened? Were you empowered or disempowered as a child? How did those experiences shape you? And how have you, in turn, shaped the world around you? Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, writes about the place that education plays in shaping our lives, individually and collectively. Public schools, she says, are the public square in which our nation is stitched together and through which it constantly evolves. I think schools are where we practice democracy, where we learn how to struggle with complex ideas and emotions, where we learn how to coexist with people who look and think differently than we do, where we learn how to face problems head on and create solutions together. I think schools are a microcosm of the world, and that what we teach there reflects what we value as a society. And for that reason, I have hope, even in this daunting, unpredictable, extraordinarily painful era we are living through. You see, I'm really lucky. I get to work at the Western Justice Center with its staff and board and volunteers. And together, we get to work with the thousands of people who are the lifeblood of our public education system. The school board members and school district leaders, the principals and teachers and counselors, the coaches and nurses and librarians, the PTO leaders and security personnel and after school program staff. And together we are nurturing in young people the qualities that make a just and civil society possible. Qualities like open-mindedness, empathy, courage, curiosity, the ability to see and hear and respect another, especially when we do not agree. Imagine if the leaders around the world could do that. At the Western Justice Center, we teach peacebuilding starting in kindergarten and support our young peacemakers all the way through high school because peace is a practice. And like anything that we might learn, a language, a musical instrument, a sport, we can certainly become proficient at any age. But there is nothing like the fluency we develop when we start practicing something early in our lives. So, what does this practice of peace building look like? And how do we do it? Well, we partner with schools and school districts and community organizations over many, many years because this work takes time. It requires training and support and infrastructure to change the way that schools manage conflict and address behavioral problems. We go in and we train all the adults who are willing to be agents of change on their campus. We teach them how to use restorative practices to create space in their classroom where students can be honest about what they're thinking and feeling and learning. We train students as young as fourth grade to become mediators who resolve conflicts between their peers and, in many cases, provide a viable, voluntary, youth-led alternative to detentions, suspensions, and expulsions. Yes, thank you. I think that's worth applauding. Because there's another way, right? And over the last 3 years, we've trained and mobilized more than 4,000 students, educators, and volunteers. Together, we are creating a ripple effect across more than 40 schools. We are changing the learning environment for more than 25,000 young people. 25,000. And the impact we are having is very clear. Our research partners at Cal Poly Pomona just completed a comprehensive 2-year study of our work with Azusa Unified, which is now in its 6th year. Yes, Azusa in the house. Woo! And here are the results. Chronic absenteeism is down from 30% to 6% in that district. Academic performance district-wide is up by nearly 10%. Suspensions are down nearly 60%. Students and educators alike report feeling an increased sense of trust, belonging, and empowerment. And we are not just seeing these results in Azusa. We are seeing them in Pasadena in the house. Woo! We are seeing them in El Monte, and we got some Monte folks in the house. Our newest partners in La Puente, Hacienda La Puente, and also with our partners in Inglewood and Norwalk and Cerritos. Now look at the 2 schools that we're honoring tonight as our 2025 Dorothy Wright Nelson Peacemakers, Elliott Arts Magnet and McKinley Arts School. Following the fires, McKinley welcomed Elliott's more than 400 students and teachers onto their campus. The conflicts were sure to arise, and they did. But with the courage and commitment of Principals Mackenzie and Tolliver, we all got right into action. First, we convened community building circles for staff, many of whom have lost their homes. Space was made for them to grieve and raise their concerns. Leadership listened to what those closest to the kids needed for themselves and their students. Security staff trained in de-escalation brought together kids who had been facing off to defend territory. And rather than punish those students, they brought in student mediators to cool things down and school counselors to explore what's going on for these students at home and out in the community and how could the school help. Student government leaders clashed over plans for the rest of the school year, what to sell at a fundraiser, what to do for the annual school dance. Peer mediators trained by the Western Justice Center got together, they got in there, sat down with both sides, and they said, okay, we're going to have a dialogue, and we're each going to get a chance to speak, and we're all going to listen to each other. I know. Can you imagine? Like Congress did that. Compromises were made, and the Elliott McKinley Unity Jam was born. For everybody who was at the Unity Jam, it was amazing. Elliott and McKinley are using the Western Justice Center's peace-building tools to manage change and trauma in real time. And they are not the exception among the districts we're working with. They are the new norm. We are seeing elementary school students use community dialogue to tackle everything from online hate speech to student anxiety over standardized testing. We are seeing middle school mediators step in to make sure that the gossip that spreads overnight doesn't explode into physical conflict when everyone gets to school the next day. And we are seeing high school students use all of these tools to organize their peers and advocate for causes that they believe in. We are seeing our school partners use these peace-building tools to face every kind of challenge, including the impact of federal immigration policy on predominantly immigrant school communities in our county. And we are with them every step of the way. So you can see why I would feel hopeful despite everything. You can see why I'm filled with gratitude for the amazing, inspiring people that we work with. They are fearless, tireless, and dedicated. And you can see why I'm so proud of what we've accomplished together over these last 7 years. We have come a long way, but we cannot afford to rest on our laurels or to think small. We must dare to be ambitious, to believe that these tools and practices of peace building should be present in every single classroom in the state of California, and that our state should be setting the pace for the rest of the nation. I know we will get there. Yes. Someone want to talk for that? Thank you so much. I know it's a big goal, and I know it's going to take more than another 7 years. And I also know that the route we're going to take to get there is something we're discussing right now in strategic planning. Should we form a regional coalition of participating school districts? Should we update our online learning platform, school tools? Should we create a train the trainer program that empowers community partners to lead this work on their own? Should we get into policy work with state and local government? We have no shortage of ideas. Whatever the path we choose, I know this. We are going to need you. So if you are already supporting the Western Justice Center or volunteering with us, I'm going to ask you to double down and make some noise right now. Yeah, let's hear it. I know we've got a lot of folks in the room who are doing this work with us all the time. And if you are not involved already, what are you waiting for? Get involved. Because, I want a future where these young peacemakers start and run businesses, become journalists and artists, become lawyers and judges and teachers and doctors and scientists. I want that future. I want a future in which these young people grow up and run for mayor or governor, where they run for state assembly or Congress or for the presidency. Yes, where they will confront the many crises before us with all of the open-mindedness, empathy, curiosity, and courage that we are cultivating in them. I really want that future so much right now, and I believe in it. And I know that we're going to build it together. Thank you so much.